Welcome to Smartboard Help. This is the fourth video in a series of 4 short tutorials focusing on the pen tools in the Smart Notebook software. Notice I've already opened up the Smart Notebook software. At the top of my screen I have the toolbar, and in that toolbar is the Magic Pen tool. The Magic Pen tool is a pretty neat tool. What happens with the Magic Pen tool is that when I write with it, over a few seconds, that ink will eventually fade away. Now there are a couple of different ways that this could be useful in your classroom. Let me demonstrate one way. First of all, if I'm sharing the human body with my students and we're focusing on the skeletal system, I might draw an arrow to the skull and tell the students that the skull is a very important bone in our body, that it protects the brain, and we'll talk some about the skull. And by the time I'm done sharing that bone with them, my ink has faded away, and now I can point to another bone in the skeletal system, like the femur, and we can discuss that the femur is the longest bone in the body and some different facts about the femur, and that ink will fade away and we're ready to talk about another area. So it's a nice way to draw students' attention to an area, and that ink will fade away so you don't have to use your eraser to erase all of your writing. Another way that this pen has been used is with spelling and with math. So let's say, for example, the word baby is on your spelling list. So you write the word baby on the board, and it's the student's goal to write that spelling word as many times as they can before it fades away. And so as they're writing, it's eventually fading away, and then once it's gone, you can either count up how many times they wrote it or move on to the next word and see how many times they can write that word before the ink fades away. I've also had a math application shared with us, and this time I'm going to write a math problem on the board, and as the pen fades away, the students are going to see if they can solve that problem before it's completely gone. So you write the math problem on the board, 9 plus 3, and see if the students can find the answer to that problem before all of the ink is faded. And when all the ink is faded, check and see if they've got the right answer. So there's a couple of different applications to using the Magic Pen while you're teaching. Now, let me share a couple of other things that the Magic Pen can do that you have to kind of be careful with, especially if you're using it with numbers and letters. If I draw a circle with the Magic Pen, it changes into a spotlight, and I can move that spotlight around. I can make it bigger or smaller just like I would the normal spotlight, but it's made by drawing a circle with the Magic Pen. I'm going to go ahead and exit out of that. And if I draw a square with the Magic Pen, it's actually going to turn it into a magnifier. And that magnifier I can make bigger or smaller, and I can move it around the page as well. So just like a regular magnifier, except it's the drawing a square with the Magic Pen. So those are some different things you can do with the Magic Pen. Use it, explore it, and see what other ideas that you can come up with.